Welcome to day 12 of Equip for the Call. Yesterday, we talked about being alert and resisting negative spiritual influences. Today, we're going to wrap up this section on the unseen context. Let's talk about divine power, not human strength, which are our true weapons. This clarifies where our real effectiveness comes from in these deeper struggles. We're going to look at 2 Corinthians 10, 3-5. For though we live in the flesh, we do not wage war according to the flesh. The weapons of our warfare are not the weapons of the world. Instead, they have divine power to demolish strongholds. We tear down arguments and every presumption set up against the knowledge of God, and we take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. Paul makes a critical distinction here. Yes, we live in the flesh. We are physical beings operating in a physical world, but he insists we do not wage war according to the flesh. This means the methods and resources we use for the spiritual struggle are different from our normal human or worldly methods. Our protocols, our medical knowledge, our physical skills, our communication tactics, even our departmental hierarchy and resources. These are vital for the physical job, but they are weapons of the world and insufficient for the spiritual battle Paul is describing. What are the right weapons then, he says? The weapons of our warfare are not the weapons of the world. Instead, they have divine power. The power isn't from us, it's from God. And what can those divinely powered weapons do? They can demolish strongholds. Paul clarifies that these strongholds are arguments and every presumption set up against the knowledge of God. These are often internal battles, entrenched patterns of wrong thinking, lies we believe about ourselves and God, persistent cynicism, damaging ideologies, prideful attitudes that resist God's truth. Our spiritual weapons, the armor of God, truth, righteousness, faith, salvation, the word, and prayer have the power to tear these down. How? By taking captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. The battle is often won or lost in our minds, and we fight it not with sheer willpower, but by actively using God's truth and power to challenge and change our thinking. Think honestly. What is a stronghold in your own thinking related to this job? Is it a persistent cynicism about patience, a recurring fear that paralyzes you, a deep-seated belief about that you're not good enough, an argument you constantly have with God about all the suffering that we all see? Identify one of them. Now, instead of just trying harder to think positive, choose one of the spiritual weapons we've discussed. How can you use that sword of the Spirit to counter that argument? How can you apply the shield of faith to deflect that fear? How can prayer bring God's divine power against that stronghold today? Make a conscious effort to engage the spiritual weapon against the mental stronghold. Just like we do on every call, use the right tools for the right fight. Spiritual challenges require spiritual weapons. Empowered by God, not just our own smarts and strength, remember that today, when facing those internal battles, cynicism, fear, negativity, whatever it is, deploy God's resources. Stay sharp, stay safe.